It's pretty wild when you think about it. Something like half of all new businesses fail within just 5 years. But then you've got this small handful that don't just make it. They build these incredibly passionate, lifelong fan bases, people whose identities get wrapped up in the brand itself. So, what's their secret sauce? I mean, how in the world does a 99-cent can of iced tea get someone so fired up that they spend 26 grand customizing their car to look just like it? Or how is it possible that an 8-year-old video game still costs $60, full price, when its rivals are practically being given away? Well, it's not some kind of magic trick. It turns out these so-called cult brands are all working from a very specific playbook, a set of really powerful and honestly kind of counterintuitive strategies that hook superfans and never let them go. Okay, let's dive into this. All right, first up, the first pillar of the playbook is all about making a promise, but not just any promise. We're talking a clear, consistent, and powerful promise to the customer that goes way, way beyond just a cheap price tag. Just look at Arizona iced tea. Their promise is so simple, right? A big can of their tea will always be 99 cents, and they've stuck to that since 1992. Now, how did they pull that off? Well, it's because they're a private company. While their competitors like Snapple were publicly traded, meaning they had to answer to Wall Street and keep raising prices, Arizona only had one boss, their customer. And this quote from the founder, Don Voltaggio, it just lays it all out there. It's not really about the 99 cents. It's about that moment when a person puts down their hard-earned money and feels like they got a great deal. That feeling, that's the handshake. That's how you build trust and, like he says, secure a customer for life, one can at a time. And if you think that was easy, check this out. To keep that promise alive, to keep the company private so he could keep the price at 99 cents, Don Voltaggio fought his own co-founder in court for almost a decade. And the final price tag to protect that promise? A jaw-dropping $1 billion buyout. That shows you just how valuable that promise really is. Okay, so that's the promise. But it gets deeper. It's about way more than just a transaction. It's about turning customers into a real community and making your brand a piece of who they are. I mean, for some people, this goes way beyond just a hobby. Take a look at this number. That's the estimated value of one fan's personal Lego collection. He has an entire room in his house just for Legos. It's not about the money, really. It's about decades of passion and how a toy can become this huge part of your life and your home. And here's the thing. These aren't just a bunch of random people buying stuff. They form tribes. They actually give themselves names. Arizona fans call themselves Zonies. Adult Lego fans, they're AFOLs. They build this whole collective identity around the things they love. It's powerful stuff. And then you get to this level, which is just wow. This is the absolute peak of brand love. This fan, Hannah, dropped over $26,000 to turn her car into a moving shrine for her favorite drink. When your brand becomes part of someone's personal expression like this, man, you have created a bond that marketing dollars just can't buy. All right, our final pillar. This one gets into some fascinating psychology, the psychology of desire. We're going to see how brands use exclusivity, premium positioning, and the sheer power of scarcity to make their stuff completely irresistible. Nintendo has absolutely mastered this. Step 1, they create these iconic, beloved characters in games you can't get anywhere else. Think Mario, Zelda, you name it. Step 2, they lock them down. You want to play? You got to buy a Nintendo console. And that complete control of the platform lets them pull off the masterstroke. Step 3, maintaining that premium price forever. And here you can see the result of that playbook in black and white. It's been 8 years. 8 years, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe still sells for around $60. Meanwhile, another incredible blockbuster game, God of War, you can find it in the bargain bin for $20. See, by making their games essential exclusives, Nintendo just doesn't have to play the discount game. And this context right here is absolutely critical. The cost to make a big video game has just exploded. We're talking blockbuster movie money and then some. Grand Theft Auto 6 is rumored to have a $2 billion budget. In that kind of world, Nintendo's strategy of keeping prices high doesn't seem greedy, does it? It almost looks like the only way to survive. Now, this is scarcity turned up to 11. There's a company called PopMart that sells these collectible toys in blind boxes. So you literally have no idea what you're going to get, but there's this tiny, tiny chance you'll find a super rare secret one. And that thrill, that hunt, is what can turn a $30 toy into a $30,000 collectible. And it drives people wild. So, we've seen the playbook in action, right? You've got an unbeatable promise that builds trust. You've got a tribe that builds an identity. And you've got an exclusive club that creates intense desire. Okay, so let's put it all together and see what the big payoff is. So here's the big takeaway. It is never just one thing. The brands that win, they brilliantly weave all of this together. They give you a fair deal you can trust, they build a community where you feel like you belong, and they make you feel like you're part of something special, something exclusive. At the end of the day, what these brilliant companies figured out is that they aren't really just selling iced tea or video games or little plastic bricks. No, they are tapping into some really deep, fundamental human needs. The need for value, the need for identity, and the need to belong. And that kind of leaves us with one last really interesting question to chew on. When fans start building their actual lives and their identities around a company's products, it really makes you wonder, who's actually in charge here? Is the company serving the fans, or have the fans started serving the company? Something to think about.